Hello and welcome. You're watching Cricbuzz Combox. नहीं? Combox नहीं? Live?
It's not.
Combox का ही समय हुआ है वैसे तो. If you look at how quickly the game has finished, 10.4 overs is all it took for Pakistan to wrap Hong Kong's innings out. 38 all out. It was just a decimation of all sorts. Of course, Hong Kong had won the toss, put Pakistan in to bat first. Pakistan scored 193, asked them to score 194. Hong Kong just fell short by 155 runs. Couldn't complete the 11 overs. They were all out for 38. It's that kind of a game. Yeah, my name is Tanay Tiwari. You're watching Cricbuzz live with me, Ajay Jadeja, Parthiv Patel. Welcome, gentlemen. And what do you say about this? This is absolute domination from Pakistan's bowlers.
Well, absolutely. That's something which we've spoken about. I think the Pakistan bowling is far superior. There is no doubt about it. And they bowled like that. They knew where they were bowling a lot of bold and LBW dismissals, and that's exactly what you do. And we've spoken about wrist spinner getting wickets, not able to read googlies. It's not easy, though Hong Kong has a leg spinner in the side. But yeah, I mean, in the end, we know that Pakistan would have liked to give that statement which we spoke about earlier, and in true sense, yeah, they bowled like one with everyone started the way. What are you going to talk about 38? I mean, obviously, Pakistan would be really happy that they had to field only 10 overs and no more cramps to anyone there.
Yeah, correct. No over 8 violations, nothing. And this is, as PP said, AJ, the fact that they've bowled out Hong Kong for 38. Against India, they scored 152 for 5. So within their group also, Pakistan have sent a very strong statement with their bowling today.
Absolutely. And Hong Kong sent a different statement. 2 innings, they still haven't got to 1 total. 1 shot.
That is true. They were 40 short
40
again.
shot there.
40
So
short
2 shots, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a sort of a statement. But you got to say Hong Kong, on a good day, they did what they did against India. It was an odd one. This is also an odd day. And things happen. I mean, just to think from Hong Kong side, I mean, India was bowled out for 36 in a test match. Doesn't mean that you are as bad as that inning. It's what you do the next time. But so this is a odd occasion. They've been on a road for 3 months. They've had a fabulous run. They've qualified. They've come all the way here. Then yesterday, Mr. Shah proposes to his girlfriend. And so this is the end of the tour. So they're all ready to get onto that flight. It almost seemed like that. I mean, there was a rush of, wickets. This just came down. And it happens. It's for a team who's worked so hard and done so much, and the qualifying would have been their target, and then everything else was bonus. So against India, they still came out with that, zest. But now they know that this was going to be the end, and so sometimes you just let it go. It almost felt like that.
Perhaps, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all credit to them to have made it this far. Done what they've done in the last 3 months, take heart with that, and they should not look at just this game and feel, "Kare yaar, actually वापस घूम फिर के उधर आ गए." At least you had a good journey.
Yeah, correct.
So, I mean, but this is what's going to happen when you have teams like Hong Kong playing India and Pakistan. You will get games like this.
Yeah, so you treat it as an aberration and move on. Look back at the journey, how well you've done over the last 3 months to get to this point. But the one thing that wasn't an aberration, PP, was this bowling show from Pakistan. And you've been praising their bowling a lot. I mean, the kind of variety they have today. And of course, they had an opposition that they could really intimidate with their bowling today. But they've got all bases covered with this lineup.
They have. If you look at the variety, they've got Nasim Shah, who actually, bowls a lot of in-swingers. He has space with him. Then Dahani, he's got a different variety with him. He hit the deck kind of bowler. They've got Shadaf Khan and Haris Rauf. Shadaf Khan is a leg spinner, and then Haris Rauf, who can bowl quick, he can bowl at the death, and Iftikhar Ahmed bowled only 1 over. But they have variety which we've been spoken about, and obviously left arm spinner, he had to come under the truck in the last game because either that calculation didn't come that right. But they definitely have their all the arsenal which we talk about. They have proper bowling attack, and that's exactly what they did, and that's what you try and do. When you know that you have proper bowling attack, then you try and showcase your skill, especially like in the sides like this. And once you know that they're on the rope, you try and make sure that they don't give them that chances, and then you run through the sides. This kind of performance gives a lot of confidence to obviously the batters as well, that batsmen did get runs, but bowlers are also bowling really well.
Yeah, correct. And AJ, they would have had an objective against India. They fell short there. But then here, they would have had an objective as well, to decimate. And this would give them a lot of confidence at the end of the group stage for Pakistan to have bowled like this in both the games.
Yeah, Pakistan will be confident. I mean, they may have lost to India, but it was a close game. It wasn't like the one we lost to them in the last time we played them in Dubai with 10 wickets.
Yeah.
That impacts you. And of course, it did impact. We've been talking, and I think whole of India wanted India to change the style of play and change the players. So last loss to Pakistan wasn't that kind. So it was a close game. They were around. And if they had any doubts in their mind, or if people had doubts that this bowling attack, is there something missing? Not when you look at these numbers. But I don't know whether they will look at this game and take anything out of it like that, because like I said a little earlier, this side, like the first 10 overs. I mean, example, in both these games, India and Pakistan, the first 10 overs, if you look at that game and think, oh, Hong Kong was doing that, then we are being mistaken. So I think even with the confidence they'll take, there's no doubt, you're right. But I doubt that, Pakistan will get something out of this game and say, listen, because we got them out for 36 and India couldn't get them out, so
No, not that. But they would just say that our objective with the ball, largely in the group stage, is achieved. Against India, we almost got there. We pushed them to the last over.
Yeah.
And here we wanted to decimate them, and we did.
Yeah, so they've done their bit, and they've, so I'm saying if they believe in their bowling in that game against India, if something in that game, it was that 18th over where the cramps came in, and where suddenly we got a 6 down the ground, we got a few more runs. So that is something here they didn't get tested because the fitness wasn't tested, or the cramps didn't come. So I think they should have been confident, and I'm still, it's unfortunate in that I treat Hong Kong at this moment like that. But the reality is, this side in cricket that we saw today cannot be compared to when India and Pakistan are going to play, and nothing can be taken out from here. I mean, for me, I may be totally wrong.
Correct. So the Asia Cup has its Super Fours now from both groups. India and Pakistan make it from Group A. Of course, Sri Lanka and Afghanistan make it from Group B. And this is what the business end will look like. It will start with Sri Lanka versus Afghanistan tomorrow on Saturday. Then India and Pakistan set another date, another Sunday for this blockbuster clash. Then India play on Tuesday versus Sri Lanka. Then on Wednesday, Pakistan play Afghanistan. Then Afghanistan play the next day again. India versus Afghanistan, A1 versus B2, and Sri Lanka versus Pakistan will be the last game. Now, you would be wondering why this is so. Why is Afghanistan B2 and not Sri Lanka, despite Afghanistan qualifying in the first spot in that B group, for which we have Asia Cup Technical Committee member, Mr. Parthiv Patel, to explain it to us. PPpedia, why is it so? Why is Afghanistan qualified B2?
I mean, if you read the rules before tournament started, it was very well written straight away. That if you are a host, you have to qualify. But if you are even at a number 2, you do qualify as the number 1. And India would also be number 1 because India was last Asia Cups champion. So those are the rules. So that's a lesson for everyone. Then read your rules before coming into the tournament.
But why should I, when you have PPpedia on the panel, why do I have to read the rules? I just have to throw this question.
He has to spend time reading, getting the prediction right. This is a long list.
That's a responsibility I take very seriously.
So playing condition is 95 pages long. So you have to make sure that you're reading it.
You read 95 pages?
I did. That's the most I've read in my life.
Even in his 12th exam, you
that's what I said.
Actually, it's surprising. A lot of us read more now than we ever did when we should have read.
Absolutely.
Is it?
Yeah, because everything's now on paper. Now look at the coaches. Everybody has to write a daily report. There's communication happening down the order, whether you're scout. So there's more paperwork happening now in cricket and with cricketers that they ever did in school.
Yeah, correct.
Absolutely.
For me, it's still the same. In school, I didn't read. I don't read even now. As PPpedia.
Yeah, people become lawyers You're being very modest at this stage.
I had that one last card left, so I had to play the modest.
No, I just want to tell all our viewers, why are we always in control with him? Because this man is a lawyer by profession.
सर लॉयर बाहर आ जाएंगे ऑफिस के बहुत गालियां देंगे
लॉयरों के पास टाइम नहीं है गालियां देने का उसके लिए भी चार्ज करते हैं लॉयर के पास फालतू टाइम नहीं है
that is actually true but then that is what we have Super Fours in this Asia Cup are done and sealed and this begins tomorrow on Saturday of course Sri Lanka play Afghanistan in that first encounter in the Super Four but if you've got to pick your favorites for the finals who would they be?
Me, I think India definitely, without a doubt. But it could be either Afghanistan or Pakistan.
What does the heart say? Feeling carrier. #Fields.
You got to go with India, Pakistan. I mean, not just because they're best two teams. I think even as a game, Afghanistan is there. They could surprise, one of these guys. It's a possibility. I don't count that out. It's not like Hong Kong. They are a different side. They are a side, and if they were getting more games in Sharjah, they probably would have been even more effective. But they could surprise. But I doubt that both the teams will get knocked out by them. So because for them to get pakka, they have to get knocked out both. But so India, Pakistan. You want to see that. As many times you see it,
that is true.
And now, this is a whole new side. I mean, the Pakistan side is all new. So you get to see a new style of play. But be wary. I would, not...
I have proper feels. I have proper feels that Afghanistan is making the final. I don't know. I think it's going to be an India-Afghanistan final.
I think tomorrow's game will be a key. Because tomorrow, don't forget, Sri Lanka was a wounded tiger. They've been outland. Then they've just bounced back. And they're playing in Sharjah. So, things could, be even out there. And if they lose steam there, if Afghanistan does something what Pakistan was able to do with Hong Kong, not in that similar fashion, but decimate, Sri Lanka, then they would come back roaring. But, imagine if, Sri Lanka turn a table and, they knock off Afghanistan, then that whole spring that we all are looking for might go missing. So tomorrow's game, for me, is now the biggest game.
Well, then let's talk about it. Super Fours begin with Sri Lanka taking on Afghanistan. This is where the business end begins. This, of course, happens at Sharjah. Sri Lanka are coming off that brilliant win against Bangladesh. Towards the end, the way they played, they just clinched it from the jaws of defeat. And that will give them a lot of confidence. People.
Yeah, but when you win games like that, you just get that boost of confidence, which is needed. Especially when a tight games, when you land on the better side of the result, it just gives you that spring which is needed, which you rightly put it. And I'm sure Sri Lanka would be feeling confident. There is no doubt about it. And the other end, Afghanistan have beaten both the sides, and they've beaten both the sides convincingly. So yeah, I think as Ajay Bhai said, it could be the game of equals, and it just something Sri Lanka would be trying to get their confidence into it, and Afghanistan would like to give a statement here as well that by beating Sri Lanka, that those two games were not, or a first game when we got them up to 100 was not a fluke. We are a side which we know on a right track. And to Sri Lanka, I think to their credit, to chase down at 180, though they've got chances and all of that, it's a different story altogether.
Of course.
But just to win game the way they did, I mean, 170, 165 is the pass score on this Dubai ground. And to chase down 183, they will be coming out hard, boost with a lot of confidence. So it will be a great game tomorrow.
Ajay, talk of confidence, Afghanistan will be full of it. They've beaten both Sri Lanka and Bangladesh in the group stage convincingly, but have had a very long break post that. So would they be happy with it, just to regroup now and get back very fresh? Or would they be ruling the fact that we could have had one game in between perhaps and this is too long a gap?
Not too sure. I think everybody's complaining about heat. So looking at that, you would say that if you've got a break, you're happier. It's only a week's break. So they'd be happy they've sat back and watched Sri Lanka when they came back, what they've done. So I think they'd be okay with that. And it's hot there. It's nice in the AC here, but it is hot. So how can, I doubt that anybody in the modern day cricketing world is complaining ever about a break, because they play so much of cricket. And all these guys play around the world. Team from Afghanistan, these guys probably play more than even the best teams in the world, because they're playing leagues all around and then they come back and play for themselves. So they'd be happy with that break.
Let's have a look at the squads then. Let's have a look at the Sri Lankan squad. Now, they've had a victory in the past. Would they like to make some changes? Of course, the highlighted names there are the ones that played in the playing 11, and the muted colours are the ones who sat out. Would they like to make a change? Or because this unit has just pulled off something like that, PP, they wouldn't want to make
I don't think they would like to make any changes here. I think that's what you usually try and keep the continuity going, and especially after the win they had, I don't think they would like to make any changes unless they feel that they go to Sharjah wicket tomorrow and the wicket is like slower than this one. If they want to add an extra spinner into it, then it could be a tactical change, not the change which they would want to do it. Otherwise, I don't see Sri Lanka making any changes. Just a tactical change, just in case they want to get an extra spinner in place of a fast bowler. But that's very unlikely though.
Ajay, let's have a look at that squad again. Who are these? Okay, so give me two key players that the dressing room is looking at and saying, this is where the business end starts. We need you to go out there and do the job for us.
I think their batting, which has failed, the guys who batted at 3, 4 and 5, because they're capable. The problem is that, in spite of that, they still went on to win that game because Shanaka has been fabulous as a captain, as a guy batting at the top. So if they want, from Sri Lanka's point of view, they'd want one of those guys to really
Perhaps
come
like
good.
a Nisanka,
Gunatilake, Rajapaksa. So these are guys who've shown glimpses on this series as well, and people who've watched them in IPL and over the years, you know what they can do. So that is one hope. So if there's one thing that Sri Lanka wants for them to work on that particular day, and that will make a huge difference to this side, because they would bat those periods when the spinners are on. We're talking about Rashid, Mujib, or Nabi at that stage. So if 3 of these guys can have a great day, not just an ordinary or a good day, but a great day, and it's possible someday somebody. So that's their key. If that happens, then they've got. Then they have got runs above par, because these 3 guys can actually play and take a score above par, whatever that score is. So the key is that. And I saw Chandimal in that side as well.
Yeah,
is he there?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but now it's difficult to bring him back because Mendes Kushal got that 60. However he got
60 for 4.
So otherwise he used to be a player that you enjoyed watching and was looking good. Suddenly he's lost touch. So batting is their worry.
And against bowlers from Afghanistan who've just come off decimating both Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Now, if you look at that squad, PP, who would your players to watch out for be? Who would be the key players?
I think it would be about how well both the sides are batting. I think it'll come down to that probably. I think because we see the bowling, they've got the bowling covered. They've got 3 quality spinners, and then they've got Fazal Haq, Farooqi and Navinul Haq. They both can bowl really well, but it'll be all about how they are batting. We saw them batting very, very maturely, and no need to change the approach as well. Cricbuzz, the way he's playing, Azatullah Zazai has been terrific for it's been a year since he's been batting really well.
Najibullah, the man who only deals with sixes.
Then Najibullah Ibrahim, and then the Ibrahim Zardan and Najibullah Zardan.
Yeah, both.
I thought Ibrahim batted brilliantly in that game, though his scores may look like 43 or 41 or something, but I thought he played very maturely. He played the situation really well against the quality side. So it'll be about how well they are batting and how well they're stitching up that batting, because it's not going to be that easy to hit sixes on this ground because the kind of pitch they have. But I think it'll be about how they're batting.
Najibullah Zadran and Suryakumar Yadav have hit the equal number of sixes in this tournament so far, and that's really interesting to know. And the way Afghanistan squad just shapes out, they cover all bases. So would you say they have the edge in this game, going into game?
I would like to. They're looking the better side without a doubt. But when it comes down to this Super Fours and then it comes to the experience, those Sri Lankan players are not that experienced. But overall, if you look at the whole nation, they're test playing nations. They have more experience. They probably have seen a lot of games or their seniors winning tournaments. So maybe the experience comes into play in this time of the tournament. But if you go man by man, I think Afghanistan's definitely better looking side than Sri Lanka.
For you as well, AJ? They have the edge, Afghanistan?
Yeah, at the moment they're hot because, they've beaten them, a week? Not even that break that you talked about.
Tuesday
they just beat them, and not just beat them, decimated them. Although Sri Lanka showed spark because they came back at least. Bangladesh couldn't do that with that start. So they showed that spark, and that's what I'm hoping for. The only chance that I see for Sri Lanka is that. Otherwise, of course, it's a superior side. That if their batting, which is capable of doing what they can do, so if they bat first and if that has already happened and they get to a score, Sri Lanka will be able to, hold them back.
Yeah, correct.
Or if they're chasing, then it'll be the key that. So it's possible, but you got to go with Afghanistan at the moment because they're just hot, man, and they're feeling good. They've got, they're just in a right frame of mind. And if you've been beaten in that tournament there and then, and what has happened in the past. If it was just one game, you could say, oh, Sri Lanka will bounce back. But it hasn't been easy for Sri Lanka for a very long time.
Correct.
I hope I'm wrong again, and it'll be exciting to... Actually, it'll be exciting to watch if Sri Lanka wins tomorrow. I'm hoping that happens, but I doubt.
Okay, then Sri Lanka, the team has the experience of playing at these big stages. Afghanistan is rocking every stage that they go to. This is going to be a very interesting encounter, of course, being played at Sharjah. This is where the Super 4 starts. Who wins, who loses, of course, we'll get to that tomorrow. But did you win? Did you win the joy factor? Could you crack it? Let's first have a look at the question. The question was, and we kind of gave you a hint around this, which feat in Test cricket has only been performed by Ian Botham, Imran Khan, and Shakib Al Hasan? So, we gave you a hint that this was somewhere around an all-round feat, perhaps. And the answer is that. The answer is an all-round feat from something that only 3 of them have done, scoring a century and taking 10 wickets in the same Test. So, we can pat our backs again. थोड़ा तो कर ही लिया था.
Where did Ian Botham do it?
PPPDA, where did Ian Botham do it?
I wasn't born.
In the city that we're sitting in.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, lovely.
He did it in Bombay. He's just showing off now.
Yeah.
No, it's just age. Nothing else.
What year was this in?
I shouldn't give this away. I was trying to look young.
What year was this in?
This would be 1981, 82.
I told you I
That's
wasn't
14
born.
years before I was born.
I wasn't born. I was -4.
So then this doesn't apply to us.
No, but I just want to tell you all who were born later that cricket and life existed before
That is true.
1999. Internet arrived. So there is enough.
We are Gen Zs.
Yeah, correct. We be the Gen Zs and we don't take such hard truths very easily.
Gen Zs.
Yeah, Gen Z. But when did Imran
What
Khan?
does Gen Z mean?
Gen Zs are the people who were born post 1995.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so then you'll
millennials
know when Shakib did it.
Sorry?
Then you'll know what Shakib did.
Sir, I can't hear you. Sir. 2014.
I think it's time to go home.
Shakib must have done it in Bangladesh.
Yeah, 2014
Definitely Bangladesh.
versus Zimbabwe.
Wow.
My producer Saab is my best friend. He's my best
But
friend.
in Bangladesh, right? He did it in
Sorry,
Bangladesh.
he did it in Bangladesh. Sir, hello? Line cut गई, sir. Line cut गई, उन्होंने भी कह दिया,
Even
आज
he's
जल्दी जाने मिल रहा है.
sleeping the kind of graphics he's throwing. That he's sleeping today.
See, everyone has a bad day.
Yeah, correct.
Just because Hong Kong's bowled out for 38 doesn't mean they're a bad side. We were bowled out for 36 the other day. Then we went on one.
Yeah,
If somebody's had a bad day, it's okay. We are humans.
As AJ says, आदमी गलतियों का पुतला है.
नहीं पुतला नहीं है मूव करते रहना पुतला रह जाना
नहीं आप
आई एम विथ यू सर मैं बिल्कुल साथ हूँ
चलिए भाई so this happened in Bangladesh.
Thank you.
So then we're all right. See, we get all the questions correct. Hope we've not seen the winner, have we? Oh,
Yeah.
वो बेचारे सोच रहे होंगे कि यार अपनी पीठ थपथपाए जा रहे हैं. Who's the winner today for the Joy Factor? Let's have a quick look at that. VSK 1110. Now this is the first time winner, I think.
Yeah, it's
I don't
first
think
time.
VSK. I have not seen VSK. अरे भाई तो मुबारक हो VSK भाई. जॉय फैक्टर के पहले विनर बनने के लिए, मेडन विनर बनने के लिए, आपके नाम में भी सेंचुरी और 10 विकेट सब कुछ है.
मेरे ध्यान रखना कि ये भी एक बार पहले जीता हुआ हो.
हाँ हो सकता है. Yeah. I've just.
He'll be very upset then.
Yeah. There's some real loyal, die-hard Joy Factor fans out there who just right there on their keyboards. Question आया नहीं कि जवाब आ जाता है. So congratulations VSK. Congratulations to Pakistan. Congratulations to the Super 4 teams who made it to the stage in the tournament which begins tomorrow. अभी हमारा समय हो गया जाने का. अब इससे ज़्यादा सही हो नहीं सकता आदमी दिन में एक बार. हमने लिमिट हिट कर दिया. So we'll of course see you tomorrow right here on Cricbuzz Live. Big thanks to PPPDA. Big thanks to
It's
AJ.
been an entertaining day. Thank you.
Very entertaining.
And one that ends quickly, so we're happy as well.
Good night.
Friday.
Good night. It's Friday night. It's good night from all of us here at Cricbuzz Live. My name is Tanay Tiwari. We'll see you super soon.